It's time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielsen, Matt Cassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Two Guys and a Goalie, brought to you by our friends at CoolBet. Sign up for an account today. Use the code 2GUYS, number 2 in the word guys, when you sign up. That'll help you out a little bit. Nielsen, Gager, and Cass back with you once again. Episode 219 of Two Guys and a Goalie with F1 expert Matt Cassian and F1 podcast host Nielsen and Gager. Cass, you even got that F1 look going now, buddy, with the hair slicked back like you're living that good life.
Yeah, I just need one of those cool jackets.
You think you could pull that off too, buddy?
Like the short brim and then round sunglasses. And,
you really make her work.
I'll have you guys know that I actually was watching it last night as well, the Drive to Survive. So I'm slowly learning.
Oh, starting to get sucked in, eh?
The Renault team are a bunch of jerks. I don't know if that will hold, but stealing racers from Red Bull and yeah.
I love that you're like, I hope that doesn't work for Renault. wait, spoiler alert here, Cass, but something big's coming.
Spoiler, I don't think it does. But yeah, it was interesting. It's fun.
All right, Gager, how was your weekend, buddy? Things are good?
Oh, it was a smorgasbord of sports over the weekend, Dusty. Starting with the Masters, obviously going into that, seeing Tiger made the cut, and then then that Oilers game, which we'll get to later. I'm sure It was fun. I love this time of year for hockey, man. It's so enjoyable to watch, and just using that golf and where we live in Edmonton, like golf season's opening up here. And everyone, you remember how crappy you are when you first started golf. And you look at the hockey season, and now these guys have been playing for this first full season for a normal season, and the first time for a couple years here. You're really seeing what happens when the best players in the world are playing against each other almost on a nightly basis. The speed, the execution, the level of desire I find in the West right now is so high for those playoff spots, and it's awesome to watch. And then of course, Dusty, I know we'll save that for next Sunday. Yeah. I'll fanboy out on what our true passion, but
yeah, exactly.
It was
what we really care about.
It was great. The only thing I wish selfishly a little bit more drama at the on Sunday Masters. I wish it was a little bit
Scotty
tighter,
Scheffler was too good.
He was too good.
Yeah, he was too good.
Otherwise,
they weren't catching him, that's for sure. We got to talk about it. I got a couple categories today for the Two Guys Showdown. One that I think might be smart to pass on, but nobody ever wants to pass, right? When you're playing the Feud or the Showdown or whatever. You want to play, you want to be the hero, but we'll see how that sorts itself out. A couple of things to get to. Let's start with that game, and then we got to talk about it. Cass, what was takeaway number one for you from a game in which they lost to the Avalanche, but they had 50 shots on Darcy Kemper? Like, I thought they played well. I didn't have a chance to listen to the post game on Saturday night. It was a late one, and I was focused on Formula One racing at the time. But what was your biggest takeaway from that game, Cass?
Well, one of my big takeaways is people are way too reactive with Puljujarvi these days. I didn't like some of the reaction to him, but as a team, I really thought they competed. They showed that they can compete in a playoff-like atmosphere and play a playoff-like style because the physicality was increased. The Oilers increased their own physicality.
Yeah.
And they, at times, they took it to Colorado. Now, at times, Colorado took it to them, but that's to be expected when you're playing a really good team. Like, there's going to be times when you're on your heels, but overall, I thought they generated more opportunity. They had more grade A chances, and it was a game they probably could have or should have won. So, a lot of positives, I think, coming out of that game. And you still managed to get a point. And the reality is if that's a playoff game and it goes into overtime, it's not, 3-on-3 and it doesn't go to a shootout. You don't lose in the skills contest. So you still would have been in it. You can't say that you would have lost that game if it was a playoff game. So, solid. It was a solid one from the Oilers.
Cass, let me just quickly ask you to expand on the Puljujarvi comment at the beginning there, in which way we look at it, because I know it's a hot topic again today, and I mean the first one, it's not a great look shooting it back towards where the goalie is,
but this is the thing, Dusty, is you assume too much. You assume that it's easy to, when you're on your onside, so he's not on his one-timer side.
Thank you. I said that. Yes.
Like, if you think about how you have to, is a right-handed guy, you have to push your left hand forward, and then all of a sudden you're trying to one touch it, and to not have that puck just roll off the blade of your stick or redirect into the corner, you have to go back against it because you have speed coming. So from a physics standpoint, you have to be moving your stick into it, and you have to lean on the bottom part of the stick. It is incredibly difficult to open your hands up to be able to lean on your stick and get the weight on your stick to put it to that far right side of the net. Now, is he a professional, and should he be able to, with two opportunities like that, should he have been able to get one? Sure. But let's not underestimate the difficulty of that play with a pass. It's not just sitting flat on you, that's coming over while you're moving at speed to try on your on wing to make that play. It is much more difficult than people are assuming. And again, to get anything on it at all, you have to go back on the angle a little bit from where you are. So yeah, I don't. Again, he's still, I think it's fair to say he should have had one of them, but Kemper does come across well, and it's not like he absolutely muffined it. So I don't know. I just think we need to have a little bit more grace for the shooters in that situation. It's a really tough play to make, a lot harder than most people think.
Gager, your take on the Puljujarvi discussion, and then anything else that kind of stood out for you on that night, or even Kemper going side to side in those situations?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you ever played tennis, but you try an inside-out forehand. That's hard to do, right? Like, and from a goalie's standpoint, when the pass comes across, and obviously there's that whole side of the net over there, you're thinking for sure that this guy is going to shoot for the empty side of the net. So you're trying to come all the way across. And why I say that is sometimes going back against the grain, again, that in tennis, shooting back behind someone, it's a lot of times goalies don't expect that, right? And you can actually, sometimes it can find a hole. So that can be just as difficult a save to make as trying to get across and anticipating he's going to go to that one side of that. Extremely hard shot to make. Kemper, I mean, I always say always at least make the goalie make a save if you're going to put it on net. And Kemper made an unbelievable save. Like if we're talking about, if we reverse the roles and say it's McKinnon who does that on Koskinen, we're talking about what a great save Koskinen made, not the bad play that McKinnon made, right? So kudos to him. Sometimes the goalie's just better than the player. I don't know what that feels like, but it happens.
You know what? It's funny, though, because you would think in that situation you want to give, in the save, the second one where he came across and got his left arm on it, you think you'd want to give Jesse Puljujarvi the benefit of the doubt, being that he's an Edmonton Oiler, but so many people are just like, no, he's got to bury it. He's got to bury it. I had a few guys slide in my DMs and be like, Dusty, I could have buried that one. I'm just like, here we go. I mean, it's a completely different situation on that off wing. If that's coming mid body and you're on your off wing, 100% both times that should be in the back of the net. Yeah, exactly.
It's different on your forehand side though. Like it is quite literally physics, because the second that you have to open up that blade, like the challenge in you hitting it is that much harder. Like it's so much easier to control if you're on your off wing. Like, is a lefty coming down there? Well, it's easy, and it should be a lot easier to put it on the right side of the net, but not as a right-hander coming down on that right wing. Like, it's not easy, because you have to think you're not trying to catch it and turn and shoot it. Like, if you have time to catch it and turn and shoot it, then that's fine, but you're trying to one-touch that thing because the goalie's coming across, and to one-touch something that has speed, so the pass has speed, from a physics standpoint, it's a lot harder to do than most people think, so... Yeah, people need to lay off it a little bit. Now, again, if you want to say he needs to score one of those, sure, fine. I can get you say he needs to bear down and get one, but to just...
He got quite a bit on both of those shots. One was robbed and the other one was poor placement, right? Like, it's that simple. Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's dive into We Got to Talk About It, because I just kind of want to follow up on this, because it was going to be my We Got to Talk About It. Cass brought it up anyway. But Gager, where do you come out on the amazing analytics that Puljujarvi's putting forward? Like it's I mean, whatever line he's been on, everybody's getting more scoring chances than they are when he's not with them. But at the same time, he's got that one goal in his last 13 games. He's getting grade A scoring chances, but he's not finishing. I don't see there being a lot of pressure on the right side to move him anyway, because there's a bunch of other great finishers you can throw on that wing. I think that line's been doing very well as of late. But how do you balance it a little bit, Gager, with literally monster possession numbers, but just the finish hasn't been there?
Well, I mean, how many goals does he have this year? 14? 15?
I think he's at 14.
And being a young player like this, I think you were talking about it this morning, Dusty, on your show, that I remember if we think back to when Ken Hitchcock was
got 13.
Coach. 13. The way he talked about Puljujarvi was he reminded him of Yuri Lettinen. And I was like, holy smokes. And Hitch had this guy for a long time. And kind of the numbers, I think, with his play and his possession numbers are trending in the kind of Yuri Lettinen finish mold of a really good two-way player. And if I look at that draft and I'm looking at those three guys, man, I'm leaning towards Puljujarvi, who I'm picking out of those top three with Dubois and his name's escaping me there. Who's the big Columbus? Laine.
Yeah.
I'm looking at all those three guys, and I like where Puljujarvi's at compared to those other two right now. If he can become that dominant two-way player for the Oilers and fit into that Lettinen mold where, we're looking at playoff rounds in the future of him being that shutdown kind of guy, and man, that's just another weapon the Oilers have. I don't get the disappointment in him right now. It's just it doesn't make sense.
Lettinen didn't come over until he was 22. He played pro in Europe until he was 22, came over then. Puljujarvi's 23 right now. So, these European guys sometimes take a little bit longer, and he's doing a lot of really good things. Cass, how do you balance it? You just kind of just say, keep going, kid? You're going to get a few of these chances to go in for you or what?
Well, I think you show them the positive things, and you show them the video and say, hey, look what you did here. This is a great play. This is going to go in if you keep putting yourself in this spot. Hey, look what you did here. This was a great play. It's going to keep going in if you keep doing this over and over. You focus on the positives that he's doing, and when a guy's struggling with confidence or he just can't find a way to score, you have to show him that, hey, listen, this isn't totally indicative of the game you're playing. The fact that you haven't put the puck in the net as much as you'd like. You're trying to build the guy's confidence. You show him all the positives and build the player up, because he has been doing really good things. And I would say that I thought Puljujarvi struggled for a while coming out of the injury. And I think the last 2 weeks or week and a half, really ever since he did score that one goal, he has upped his game to a point where he's been more physically involved. He's been around the front of the net more, and he's been positionally much, much more sound. So it's like he's doing all the things he needs to do to be successful. The puck just isn't going in for him yet. And to me, calls for him to be pulled off of the line or moved around or anything like that are unwarranted. And as a coaching staff, you're just trying to pull out even more of that confidence from him.
That goal
Nielsen, Gage, and Cass with you here on Two Guys and a Goalie. Go ahead, Gager.
No, that goal that he did score, that showed tons of poise and putting it upstairs like that. So
yeah, it was a nice finish.
It was really nice. So, yeah.
All right, let's continue with we got to talk about it. And Cass, let's stick with the Oilers here right now. What do we got to talk about, buddy?
He's muted.
I think you're muted, Cass.
I am muted.
There you go.
That's my old problem. Anytime I'm taking a sip of water or anything, I don't want you guys to have to listen to that. I want to talk about the Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas Golden Knights. Oh, yeah, they're making a push. And I don't know if you guys realize this, but if Vegas overtakes LA and Edmonton has to play him in the playoffs, that would actually fall completely in line with my bold prediction from some time ago.
Oh, that the Kings would fall out. You're
that
right.
the Kings would fall out. And if I might be wrong about Dallas then, but if Vegas makes it in and the Kings go out, that would be pretty good for me. But bad for the Edmonton Oilers, because I think that's a horrible matchup. And that's not a team I want to play in the playoffs, especially if the Vegas Golden Knights get healthy, and especially if they can be like 20 million over the salary cap, which is very possible. So I haven't looked at what the actual number is and how much, if they have everyone playing, they're over the cap, if everyone gets magically healthy right before the playoffs. But I am much more concerned about the Oilers playing Vegas than I am LA. I think LA is a way better matchup for Edmonton. I think Vegas brings a lot more challenges for the Oilers. What do you guys think?
Well, I guess it all depends if they're healthy or not. I was just thinking about it now. I kind of like the matchup just because of the Eichel McDavid kind of storyline to it too, right? Those two meeting in the playoffs for the first time against one another. I think that's kind of cool. I think that I don't mind the matchup actually, Cass, because I don't like the Knights goaltending right now. I think that it's suspect back there that the Oilers can take advantage of it a little bit. So I don't know. I don't mind either matchup. Would I prefer the Kings? Most definitely, but I don't mind the matchup against the Knights as well.
I'm torn on this one. I think I'm going to stick with the Kings as being the matchup that I want, just because of what we all thought Vegas could be at the beginning of the season. Like, what if they actually do work this well and they get everybody back and they get going at just the right time? I heard Gregor this morning on Low Tide. Low Tide asked him the same question. He says he thinks that Vegas might be the better matchup for them. And I think it's close, but I think I'd rather see the Oilers take on the Los Angeles Kings, because I don't know, like, you're going to be playing a Vegas team if they are able to get everybody in under the, when the cap goes away in the playoffs, you can get everybody in. You don't know how you shape up against that team. Like, how you shape up against the Los Angeles Kings, whether they have Drew Doughty in the lineup or not. You've played them in all situations this year. So I'd rather go up against something that as opposed to something that's supposed to be really good, has dealt with injuries all year, and you haven't seen a full lineup with Jack Eichel in there just yet. So, yeah, I think I'd stick with the Kings. Cass, you're with the Kings here too?
I'm sticking with the Kings.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Vegas scares me if they start firing on all cylinders. I think they got better goaltending. I think they have way more offensive punch. And I think they're still stable enough defensively, if they're playing well, that they will present more of a challenge to Edmonton. I don't think LA challenges Edmonton's defense as much. And I also think LA has been playing way over where they're capable of. Like, I don't think there's any extra juice left in LA's game from what we've seen over the course of the year. They have squeezed it out. They have been getting everything they're going to get out of the team. There's not another level to their game. There is a significant extra level to the Vegas game. So if we're looking at like, oh, well, how have they played this season up until now? Well, yeah, Vegas is a better matchup because they haven't been as good. But if I'm looking at what the team is capable of, Vegas is, scary to me. So I don't want to play them if I can avoid it.
Gager, what do we got to talk about, buddy?
Well, first they got to fix that cap horseshit thing. That's a joke anyway. But well, I was the first game on Saturday night with watching Austin Matthews go crazy again with the first two goals, and I was going to text you guys and complain about, because they showed a graphic of Matthews and it said 50 goals in 50 games, and then in little fonts underneath it was like inconsecutive underneath where you couldn't really see it, and I was just like, oh my god, they're really blowing this up. And I get it, man. Like, this guy, he's playing unbelievable right now. We were talking about Puljujarvi, where the hand placements when the shot's coming, like, when I watch Austin, it's got to be so hard as a goalie to pick up because he holds his hands so close together. Like, as soon as that bottom hand kind of slips down, as a goalie, you see that and you go, oh, this guy's ready to shoot and do something. Like, he doesn't move his hands much at all and just rifles that shot. But 50 goals in 50 games is very impressive, but it's not the same as scoring 50 goals in 50 games from game 1 of the season till game 50 of the season. That means you're going through injuries, ups and downs like this. That's something completely different. So good for Austin Matthews to do this unbelievable feat that he's done, but let's pump the brakes on scoring 50 goals in 50 games kind of thing. Until you actually do it, don't be putting up the graphics and saying that stuff, because it's not the same.
But it's Austin Matthews, dude.
He could do it. Like, I think he could take a run at it. I don't know if he could. Yeah, he could take a run at it to start a regular season, I think. But a lot's got to go right. Gage is right. I mean, you got to stay healthy for 50 games at the beginning of the year. You got to have whatever late season heater he's having right now at the beginning of the year. A lot of things have to go right, but he has the level of goal scoring ability in his prime to take a run at 50 and 50. Which would be fun. I mean, that would be good, but I'm with you on this 50 and 50 stuff. I said it last week before it happened on my radio show. I was like, just wait for it. He's going to score 50 goals in 50 games, and they're all going to try to justify, well, this is just as good as the other 50 and 50. And it's just not. It's damn impressive, though. And the Rockets wrapped up. We've said for 2 months he's going to get the Hart. And if he scores 60, I think he's going to get the Lindsay from the players as well, because that's a pretty remarkable goal total if he gets it. And he's going to get there. So a hell of a season for Austin Matthews. All for naught when they get eliminated in the first round by the Tampa Bay Lightning. But good season anyway. All right. I do want to...
Dusty,
go ahead.
What if he goes goalless in the playoffs? What happens? Do they trade him?
He gets traded to the Arizona Coyotes.
He'll score. I'd be shocked if he didn't. But yeah, that'd be quite the story if he didn't. Holy smokes. Okay, before we get to Two Guys Showdown, quickly, if the playoffs started tonight, would you start Koskinen or Smith? Goalie, go first.
Mikko, after that game against the Avalanche, I'm definitely going with him with how he played. The only thing I didn't like about Mikko's game and I've done this too, where you lose in the shootout and you're upset because you wanted that game so much. I think that was that was such a good game, and to lose in the shootout was kind of crap anyway. I felt like if he didn't just storm off the ice and went around to his teammates and said that we got these guys, just having that galvanizing moment. There was a moment there where I think he let slip by on the ice, and maybe it happened in the room later and stuff like that. But that was just a great game. To lose in a shootout didn't mean anything. The guys played good. It only comes with experience, I think, but I would have used that as a rallying point, saying, boys, we're right there.
Cass?
I'm starting Koskinen without question. He's been the better goalie this year. Smith has been playing better, has been doing lots better. Still is giving me heart attacks. So right now I'm starting Smith or Koskinen.
I think somebody slid into my DMs on Twitter today, my buddy Kevin, and said that Smith has like the second best playoff save percentage of all time. So we'll see what happens. I'm with you guys. I would start Koskinen in that situation, but get there and we will have like a full day of who to start in game 1 debates in the city. It's gonna be very fun. That's gonna be good. All right, Two Guys Showdown, Family Feud style, back and forth here between Gage and Cass. I got 2 categories for you guys once again. Let's start with this one. Top 5 answers are on the board, boys. Top 5 players in points per game this season in the National Hockey League. Gager.
Huberdeau.
Number 3 on the list. Cass, if you can give me 1 or 2, it's yours.
Points per game. Well, I have to go with Connor McDavid as being one of the 2.
He'd be right at the top. Gager, how did you not go? Not go Connor McDavid?
You didn't say if I wanted to play or not. I just wanted to make sure I eliminated. I know Connor.
No, but you don't get the option, right? Because you got number 3. So then Cass gets a chance to
I have
finish
to be
higher
the
than
number
you.
1, right?
Yes. Yes.
Shoot.
All right. Well, 2 of them are already off the board, Cass. So you only need 3 more. Are you going to play or pass?
I'm gonna play on this one, Dusty. Kirill Kaprizov. What?
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
Oh, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, Leon Draisaitl.
Yeah, he's number 5 on the list.
So he's 5. And points per game. Mitch Marner.
Number 4 on the list, Mitch Marner. And you need the number 2 guy to win first one.
Points per game. Is it Roman Josi?
It is not Roman Josi. That's 2. One spot left.
Austin Matthews.
Yes, correct. Austin Matthews. Gager, would you have had that on the steal?
I think I would have said Yossi too. So I might have. I think I would have got that. Got it.
With only one spot left, you probably would have got it. All right, here's second category for the two guys showdown today. Top 5 answers are on the board. Top 5 career Oilers D-men scorers. So top 5 Oilers blue line. Oh, who was that? Cass, was that you? Oh, Gager. That was Gager. Okay, Gager, you're aboard, buddy.
Top 5 defensive.
Yeah, no, defenseman scoring, yeah.
Paul Coffey.
Paul Coffey is number 1. Would you like to pass or play?
I'm going to pass. I'm drawing a blind.
Cass, you got to give me, be ready to steal, Gager. You got to steal it back, right,
no,
Cass?
Was it total,
you got to give me the other top
points?
4.
Total points?
Total points, Oilers, top 5 D-men.
Total points. Kevin Lowe.
Number 2, correct.
Who else would be on there? He's not going to be on there. Oh, man. This is where it gets tough. Boris Mironov.
I don't like your chances of clean sweeping this.
No.
That's
I'm
one.
trying to think. Oh, my goodness. His face is in my head, but why is his name killing me here?
5, 4, 3.
Yeah, I'm
2,
toast.
1. All right, you got one more X here, Cass. Start spitting out some names, buddy.
I mean, it's just the points all the time. Man. He didn't have very many points either. I just keep thinking all the, like, watching all the, like, guys that just ran around and hit people.
You might want to spit out some names then. That might work. 5.
Jason Smith.
4. No, not Jason Smith. Gage, you got to give me one, buddy, for the win after the strategy of passing about to pay off.
Oh boy, this is tough. I'm gonna go with Lee Fogelin.
Lee Fogelin is number 9 on the list. Gager loses again. Here are the next 3 on the list, you guys. The next 3 on the list are Charlie Huddy.
I was gonna say Huddy. Shoot.
Not that one.
Steve Smith. All these D-men who were on those 80s teams, boys. And then actually number 5 on the list is now Darnell Nurse. Darnell Nurse is number 5 on the list with 190 career points. Yeah, I don't know if anybody would have got Nurse. Yeah, let me, here, I'll give you the, actually, you know what? Bobo's not bad. It was, Nurse was 5, Randy Gregg was 6, Yanni Nienema was 7, and Mironov was 8, followed by Fogelin, and then the one and only Tommy Gilbert, number 10 on the list. So he'd be much higher if he wasn't ran out of town early in his career. So there you go. Congratulations to Cass. Another 2 victories. Cass, I think you're now 4-1 in the two guys showdown. So well done.
This is a game I can win.
He's the Hansel of 2 guys and a goalie. Yeah. So hot right now.
So hot. Very hot. Very hot. All right, that's going to do it for another episode of Two Guys and a Goalie, brought to you by our friends at Coolbet. Visit them at coolbet.com. And when you do, enter the bonus code 2Guys if you decide to sign up for an account over there. We'll be back with another episode on Thursday. If you've been watching on the live stream, make sure you subscribe to the podcast, all your podcasting platforms, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. You'll be able to find 2 guys and a goalie. Boys, we will catch up again on Thursday. I'll talk to you then.
Later, guys.